Hello and welcome to part 3 of Andar plays Europa Universalis 4, Superstates Mod as New York. And if you were following this, you may be looking at the map right here and thinking, Andrew, that's not where you left off. Well, I have unfortunate news to report, not dire, just unfortunate. This isn't the Russia Let's Play all over again. No, nothing like that. But, I recorded the real episode 3 yesterday, on my birthday, might I add, preface that, and discovered, or was trying to use a different recording program than Fraps, because Fraps is dumb. And, this recording program that I was using was recording my desktop, but when I started a game, did not record my game. You know, it recorded my audio, me speaking as well, because I record that with a separate, just the standard Microsoft Sound recorder. And, this resulted in, like, some weird black screen, but you could still see my mouse moving around. It was very strange, and it is not something I could put up, but I was also simultaneously, bear with me in the long story of this birthday tragedy, and then I'll get to the actual episode, but I was practicing for a play I'm writing called How to Not Be Intelligent, and one of the things my character does is he saves over his games when he's trying out new recording equipment, doing a Let's Play, so that he can't... This results in him being unable to re-record an episode, as I've done before in a different Let's Play. As he's done before in a different Let's Play, and I really needed to do that myself. Get those emotions that he was feeling right. So, as I cannot bring you the real episode 3, I'll just have to explain what's going on in the world. And man, episode 3 was awesome. Oh yeah. Poof. As you can see here, Massachusetts has accepted our baseball game as the superior form of baseball, and has realized the error of its ways and become a incorporated region in the New York Empire. I've named this army that came from... Well, let's get into that. I inherited their navy and their military, and I named this one the New York Militia, this is the Massachusetts Militia, and this is, well, those are the colonial Marines, I guess. But, as soon as Massachusetts was incorporated, bad things happened over here in, how's this place? New Brunswick, yes. Maine was all like, hey man, York? That's totally ours. New Brunswick wasn't buying it, neither was Ontario here, but I'm allied with Maine. So I went in, I got this army twice the size it usually is. I'm gonna take Ontario on. It was awesome. I did this awesome strategy where I just, I dragged their military into my territory, got them into Rochester, hit them hard there. They had to retreat all the way back to Thunder Bay. And by the time they had regrouped, I had detached sieges in Ontario, Frontenac, and Ottawa, simultaneously putting the bulk of my forces in Sudbury. And what this does is it blocks, it blocked the counterattack, once they regrouped, from attacking the occupation, so I could take over, half of Ontario without much of a real fight. And, in that war, I decided to just take on Hamilton, because I thought that Maine had it covered, and they will understand in the future. Also, Montreal has decided that it would be really cool for them to be a vassal. I convinced them. They saw how well I was treating Massachusetts, and they're like, you know what, that's not so bad. I tried getting New Jersey to think the same way, but evidently they have the same problem Montreal originally had, which was something about base tax, which I still don't understand. Once Maine gets out of its war, we'll see about vassalizing them, and, you know, we'll try and see if I can create an empire of peace across the Union. Seems how it takes a really long time for that outrage to go away. It's not the outraged province. Rhode Island is the outraged province. So yeah, while that's going on, I've been expanding the colonies down here. And I discovered that, if I pull this out, let's see, is that it? Colonial map mode? No, this just shows where I can colonize. I need colonial regions. Okay. The Caribbean is considered part of North America. And what this means is that colonizing in the Caribbean will hypothetically not count towards the formation of a colonial nation. If I had more than 4 provinces in colonial Columbia, these areas here, it would form a separate country under my, they would form a separate subject country instead of, you know, under my direct authority. I prefer things to be under my direct authority, so that is good. Although, if I have the chance, I will definitely get into Columbia and, you know, take over the world. Mostly because I want to prevent everyone else from doing it. So let us continue, now that I've wasted the first 5 minutes explaining, you know, the first 45 minutes of the, you know, of the episode that was not meant to be. Let us continue with the game. Hopefully, Maine wins the war. I don't see, I don't want to lose. I have the money, I can take the hit. Alright, well, I hope Maine wins that war. Ontario, I don't believe, can really do much to help New Brunswick. I mean, Quebec is very hateful towards them, and I'm not going to let them through my territory, that's for sure. So, they have no real way of getting over there unless they put some people on ships, sail them all the way around, and then land here, in which, you know, Maine has a small navy, and Maine has men ready to fight when they land. It would be a hard battle. Especially after the loss I had inflicted upon them. Far from ideal. Okay. One of the core parts of the Republic are the great ceremonies of state. This is a time where disagreements and disputes between the partisans are put on hold so we can display our unity of purpose and show the world our strength. In a recent ceremony, disgruntled elements turned their backs on our traditions to air their disagreements with the ruling council. Far from or ideal. Yeah, I would say so. But, you know, you shouldn't do that. You should, as a representative, care. I mean, that's all anyone can ask of their elected representative. So I can annex them on the 15th of January, 1478, which is in 8 more years. General Theodore Hill was our best general. I know you have no context for that, but it was true. Our conquered territory is now fully integrated and cored. So, yeah. General King is nothing compared to Hill. We'll have to get a new mission. I don't want to conquer New Jersey. Incorporate Montreal into our country. That's what we're going for. Havana will become a city long before Montreal decides to be incorporated. Havana's sitting there having a good time, which is a joke I made in the last episode, but, you know. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that. I have to stop pondering in the past. Let's move on. So, let's see. Well, man. Okay, evidently the occupied territories don't like being occupied. Who would have thought? My strategy is just throw men at them until they die. And which is, you know, we'll see how that goes. I'm not completely funding my military as we're in peacetime, so they might be not as effective as they potentially could be. especially with having to cross over the Niagara Falls, which is completely in our control, thanks to our conquest of Hamilton. That's a big rebellion, too. And we're losing it. We're losing that battle. I mean, we're fighting hard. But, okay, I think we'll win. Man, this is tough. Oh. Okay, we won. Whew. I had my doubts, though. It was getting sketchy there. Thank you, Massachusetts. Although during that war, I had them nice and split between where they came from. Because you'll notice it says, we'll click New York Militia. This one came from Buffalo, this one came from Suffolk, this one came from Worcester. And I had them split up, you know, the people from Massachusetts came from Massachusetts, but when I get straight into the war, Quebec has left the military coalition against us. Smart move. So this coalition against me only consists of Rhode Island right now. New Hampshire was the first to get out of it. Poor move on their part. But yeah, I can probably attack someone with greater freedom now. Let's see if I can... I unlocked some new buildings, of course. We could increase the production in New York, New York, giving us plus 130 gold production, or just get a total of 1 whole and give us 1.5 in anywhere, pretty much. I'll go with the one that gives me more, although it only gives me more in this one spot. So that is what the temple will go somewhere else, like Onondaga, or somewhere that won't be easily occupied. Like, well, this place with the F. It will save money. Let that go, just in case anyone wants to try and mess with us. Now, as I was trying to do, Utah is making huge pushes against Arizona, which from what last I checked in this area, Arizona had taken over the New Vegas, or not New Vegas, this isn't Fallout. They tried taking Las Vegas, and evidently didn't work out, and South Arizona has split away. There's Baja, Arizona, which is interesting. California hasn't expanded from when we last checked on it. Texas, at the end of the last episode, I think split into Comanche. These 3 provinces. New Mexico has taken them over, so now we have a very powerful New Mexico. And also a very powerful Nebraska up here, which is interesting. And Minnesota isn't bad either. Yeah. Other than that, not much. Quebec took over a large chunk of Newfoundland. So they look quite monstrous right now. Other than that, nothing much. Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands are not expanding into the colonial game like I thought they might. So that is interesting. Now I have 14,000 Montreal troops on the border of Hamilton. Gotta convert these heathens. I'll recall that diplomat from Maine. Are they still at war? Okay, no. They've won that war. Let us see. Okay, they are not yet ready to like us yet. And they won't accept vassalization, whereas earlier they would have. They will transfer their trade power to us. Why not? How much? How much are you willing to give me? I'll take it all. I don't know the finer mechanics of the economy, so I don't know if what I'm doing is good or not. Unfortunate. Of my ignorance. That is good. I mean, I like things being transferred to me. That's always good, I like to think. Like, nothing really much going on with Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas. Or Kentucky, I guess. Everyone else is, you know, they're having territory taken from them, or they're taking territory. But mostly the South is just kind of chilling out. And maybe the North would be too if it wasn't for me, but, you know. I like to invade things when I get a chance. We'll try and see if we can invade New Hampshire by the end of this. Gain 200 population in Havana, lose 30 ducats. That's acceptable losses. Yeah, we will fabricate a claim. Now that we have a diplomat lined up. Gotcha. Get that claim fabricated. Although, I think in my decisions, I can't... What can I don't really need... As I said before, I really don't need New England to form the Mid-Atlantic Union, which is what I should be trying to do. That's why I want New Jersey to start, you know, getting that. Get one base tax. I like that idea. Oh, and because Quebec left that coalition, I was trying to see if they would maybe be more friendly with me. But, you know, not being their biggest enemy is also pretty cool, too. Let's see what technology we get. We can get viceroys, global tariffs to increase our wealth, get marketplace and dock. I would rather have that. I don't really need tariffs right now, I do not believe so. And it would be nice to have marketplaces built. So, we can't because we don't have the diplomatic power, we just spent it all. Eventually, we'll get there, don't worry about it. Please don't worry about it. Maybe? I'll get more troops. Tell Ontario, that, you know, whatever they're planning, we're ready for them. Although, in actuality, all they're doing is defending their capital of Toronto. Okay, that's fine. The natives can attack. That is why I have the colonial marines. Oh, what is this? Okay, I'll pause real quick to make sure that's not a bigger thing that I can't handle, as I handle this very important matter. The few, the proud, and move up here, where Protestants are just like, what you're doing ain't cool, man. Let us believe what we want to believe. And I'm like, America's a Protestant country too, why are we Catholic? And then my iPod falls on my desk, making a loud noise. I use that as my timer. 17 minutes, 37 seconds is what it says. Although I start recording that at different times than when I actually start. Merge them together. They're good. And my governor, we've informed, has been discussed. Okay. They know what we're up to, but we're gonna keep on doing it anyway. In terms of that core, I was trying to look at the decisions, but I got distracted. Decisions. Okay, form the Mid-Atlantic League. Which I have... Yeah, I should be invading southward, not northward. Oh well. Yeah, I don't think Pennsylvania would be down for peaceful vassalizing. Considering they are a competent nation, I will have to betray them. And that'll be sad because they're like my best, they're my best bud. Pennsylvania, New York. You know, we might have disagreements, we may have different cultures, but I think we get along. I mean, we have similar flags, but then again, so does the rest of America. Blue background, state seal, very lazy flag design. Until you get over here into the west and you get awesome stuff like New Mexico, Arizona has a good one. No, not you. Colorado, that one's alright. Not my favorite, but it's good. Yeah, most states got this blue background, state seal, and it's just the most aesthetically boring thing. I mean, cool kind of that we have that unity in the same way that the British colonial flags do. Like there's Ontario. Oh, Quebec isn't the same thing. Do any of the other? Yeah, there's that one has one. Well, Canadians didn't really keep with that unity, I guess. But you know what I'm talking about, like the Union flag in the place of honor, and then like this badge thing, and that looks cool when you put them all next to each other. But okay, these guys would accept vassalization if we could only convince them of our intentions. Now let's try and be peaceful. You know, if I don't have to get wars declared against me for no reason, well, this game gives me that option, whereas Victoria does not. And that is one thing I can give this game, is that you can play as a pacifist and it not be completely boring. Whereas, you know, play as Switzerland in the middle of Victoria, and you're not going to have that great of a time. Or for me, anyway, I don't know. You'd have to be more into dealing with the economics of those games, more than the world-conquering conquest. Which my Let's Plays never really showed off, that's why I wanted to do Russia. But, as I said, that didn't work out. Well, I guess I don't really want forts in the colonies. No one's gonna really attack there. They're not worth attacking. Worth them, they'd have to build a navy and then attack them, which, you know, some of them have, but not in the magnitude. Like, any troops they send over there, the Colonial Marines garrisoned there, are capable of defending it. Also, yeah, I'll just keep trying to get more and more money. Building up economic structures as much as I can. So let's try and keep 100 gold, just in case, you know, random events will pop up, be like, we need 50 ducats because you're too rich, and those will come at any time, regardless of how rich you are. I think they have some bias to you being super rich because this game likes balancing things in that way. It is interesting how Utah is expanding because of their Mormon religion. So that'll be interesting to see if they can spread it through the disconnected Catholic landscape. Although I guess my problem with the Catholic, Protestant, American Baptist is accurate, but I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Consider the spiritual side of America to be more apathetic than, you know, even Catholics and Protestants here, they're not really die-hard zealots. Which, you know, 1473, the mechanics of this game really won't represent such a culture, but, you know, that's always the feeling I get around here. And even in Florida, when I lived in Florida, and even in Arizona, when I lived in Arizona, no one really seems to care that much. Maybe that's why it feels inaccurate. Maybe the Catholics are the majority of people who actually care. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking randomly and rambling on, trying to fill the time where I'm not doing anything by saying potentially offensive things. But, you know, I report what I see. That's all. Let's increase our local trade power. Let's see. We're not the dominant... Well, we got 24% of this trade node. Doesn't show up there. 24% is only third. But we're all fighting over only 2.4 ducats, so it's not really worth it for me to build a dock there. I'll take the stability hit. We got stability to spare. And it seems... Wait, what am I building? I thought I was building a dock. Yes, like that. Oh yeah, I was trying to see the trade nodes though. So I got 37% of 12.8, and I got 48% of 1.6. Like, if I gain too much control over a certain trade node, it seems that people churn away from that trade node and will go elsewhere. Which means that, I'll just send my guys after them, follow the money. But yeah, it's interesting. So maybe my strategy shouldn't be just getting all the trade power everywhere. Either way, I'd really like to have a dock in my coastal countries because it increases naval build speed and ship repair. And those are useful things as well. I won't go crazy on this. Like, I'd rather get temples everywhere first. There. And... what? Oh, I spent some administrative, must have, when getting that. Oh, and my advisors have been dying. That's unfortunate. I don't really need anything there. I'm not really using spies all that often. Stability cost modifier, that's good. No, let's try out production efficiency. We're stable right now. And I won't get a diplomatic advisor. Excellent. Good to know. Good to know this stuff. How well are our diplomats doing in New Hampshire? I can offer an alliance with New Hampshire, which is a great turn of events. We used to be bitter enemies, and now we're best buds. Hopefully I can do that with Quebec, but, they're hostile towards me. And I understand that. We've done some things in the past that are questionable. This is what we need to do. We need Rhode Island. That is the one I was waiting for all along. They've had it too good. Too good. Well, I could convince them to be vassalized, but we need some action. Who are they allied with? Quebec and Maine. Oh no. Maine. Not you. Can we... They won't accept a vassalization offer. We'll see what happens. We did leave that war with Ontario early, and they might be upset about that. It has affected our relations a little bit. That much is clear. We'll see what other ideas we have ready. I don't want a second diplomatic tree because we already have one from the diplomatic tree. Well, I like to balance it out so I'm not spending diplomatic points on all the time. Although what I really want, maybe, is innovative ideas. It gives me a lot of variety of stuff. Mercenary cost minus, technology cost minus. Like, that sounds like a big deal, especially early on. 1474, and you have minus 5% technology cost. You're getting 5% increase over the course of the game. And that would probably amount to a lot, so I think that's where I'll go for now. It doesn't take much to get my third one, and that will be a military one. And then I will be competent military force. Huh. Yes. Well, I don't want to build more troops. I'm having trouble paying the bills as it is. Let's build up more money first. We've spent a lot. And that core on Rhode Island isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Let's see if we can look at that better. Yeah, I have a claim on Rhode Island. It doesn't end until 1499. So I can sit on that for a little while. It doesn't have to be an immediate concern. But New Hampshire, on the other hand, I would like them as soon as possible. So yeah. Well, I'm actually gonna cut this short. I know it's only been half an hour, and usually I try to get 45 minutes, but I have some things to attend to. Thank you for watching. And despite my inability to, keep the continuity, it would seem, as a result of missing that, the real episode 3, as I call it, you'll forgive that and keep on. I will. And yeah, again, thank you for watching.